talk to you. I found you through that CPS Facebook group, and I was surprised to find people who seem to actually be fighting CPS. Because a while ago, yeah, I didn't see any of this happening, and my post consistently got deleted every time I was talking about fighting CPS and exposing the truth. And so I was excited to see you and other people post their stories.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to see that you're not the only one.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. And it's been really comforting for me because our kids got taken almost 2 years ago. And yeah, I think if
Yeah, but I think I read something, didn't I, on your page about possibly an end coming to it?
yes, that's what we're hoping for.
Yes,
Yeah,
I hope that for you too.
yeah. And so you're you have one child?
I have two.
Oh,
I have
two.
a grown boy. Actually, he's 18,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have my 7-year-old. But
Okay.
he's about to have his 8th birthday. But anyway,
And so you
I won't be
and
there once again.
your 18-year-old was not taken by CPS?
Well, no, no. The thing, I raised him for 12 years, totally on my own, just
Mm-hmm.
as a single mom. I had no police involvement, no CPS involvement.
Mm-hmm.
The very first interaction that I had with CPS was when my son was 12, and my little baby was born.
Mm-hmm.
So that should tell you, I'm a good mom. I raised my son. He went all the way up through school. Never had any complaints from teachers. Never a CPS report
Yeah.
until the one that I was set up with. And I say set up because I was in the hospital
Mm-hmm.
um, giving birth to my son,
Yeah.
and had a hard labor. I was there for a couple of days, but when they put me in there, they put me on an IV
Mm-hmm.
and gave me pain medicine. Well, the pain medicine, of course, went through to my unborn child, and there's my first CPS case.
Whoa, that doesn't make any sense. So they gave you pain medicine that they give to everybody during labor, right?
I'm guessing so. I mean, I didn't take anything extra on my own, so I mean, I'm guessing that they probably gave me morphine.
Yeah. But so wow. So they drug tested your newborn? Is that what happened?
Right, right. Yes,
Oh.
they're starting to do that now. They are starting to do that. They test throughout
Oh.
the entire pregnancy, and if you come up positive with something, then they'll kind of, give you a slap on the wrist. And I've learned this through other moms that are on the pages because I'm in every CPS hate group that you can find on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I have my own group too.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm hearing and seeing everything from all over.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I mean, I know that they do test them as newborns, and if they have a chemical in them,
Mm-hmm.
then they'll start you up a brand new case.
Wow. That is intense. And I would think that since they administer pain medicines to a lot of women in during childbirth, they would find that in newborns often.
Well, you would think,
Yeah,
you would think, but I think that really it's just they choose who they're wanting to mess with, right?
that's it.
So
Yeah.
if you have private insurance that you pay for through a job or whatever, through your husband or
Mm-hmm.
military or whatever, if you have it like that, then they're not going to mess with you
That
because
makes
they know that
sense.
you have money
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you'll afford a decent attorney that will
Mm-hmm.
fight in your name to
Yeah.
keep your kid with you. If you are on Medicaid, if you're on food stamps,
Mm-hmm.
that you're on their target list.
Yeah. This is so creepy. This is exactly why I never wanted to give birth in a hospital. Like I knew that there was all sorts of weird things going on. Wow, that is so intense. And
And
it,
so, but I didn't, at the time, I didn't know anything about CPS. At the time, I thought they were good people. I
yeah,
thought they had a job to do, and they do their job. And
yeah,
their job is to protect the kids and get them out of bad situations.
yeah,
But I've learned a whole new lesson
right.
here in my, in my situation.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't know how bad the system was either until this happened to us. Not just
Yeah.
CPS, the
I mean,
whole court
so,
and the courts involved as well.
yeah, every part of it. It's a working system,
Yeah,
and they've been doing it for many years.
yeah, and they make a lot of money off of it, and so
Oh,
um,
upwards of $80,000 per child.
yeah, that was confirmed to us. We actually hired a private lawyer in the beginning, and he confirmed that too. Yeah,
Yes, I've done a lot of research. I've done so much research because I thought at first, like, why would they want to just target me? Like, Anna, you're being crazy. No
yeah,
one is targeting you. You know what I mean? How much can they actually make per child? I mean, come on. That's not what it's about, Anna.
yeah,
Seriously, you're a crappy mom, you know? And
mm,
I went through that for a little while. I kind of believed that. And then it was like, no way. I raised one kid basically totally up,
mm-hmm.
and then this all started. So I know it's not, my parenting skills. So
Yeah,
then I started thinking of other ways, other reasons why they might try to steal him from me,
yeah,
do
right,
benefits off of it. Really, they do have quotas. I've talked to caseworkers
mm-hmm.
with CPS and the adoption agencies. They do have numbers that they must meet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she said, the video that I had seen, basically she said, you have 4 families,
Mm-hmm.
3 of them, the kids deserve to stay with their mom and, or dads or whatever. And there's one that does deserve to be removed. But you've got a quota that says you got to take 3 families. So
Wow,
you just pick 2 of the good ones and take them.
I
Make
didn't.
up things. Yeah.
I know that they're very corrupt. We have our own experience, but that's a detail I didn't know. How and you said who gave you that information?
I watched a video, and I can share that to you.
Yeah.
I can share that to you later because, like I said, I'm always coming across things like that, and I make a mental note of it, and because it is important information,
Mm-hmm.
you can't believe everything that you hear,
Mm-hmm.
But then again, on the other hand, if it is a legit, if that's her job and that's what she did,
Yeah.
more than likely, then she's telling the truth.
And once you have your own experience with CPS, and for us, it's been almost 2 years now of nonstop corrupt behavior. Um, that kind of information starts to make a lot of sense. You're like, that resonates with my experience. And then when you start reading all these other people's experiences all over the country, it's starting to make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and there's more than just us, and at the beginning, it's kind of like you're afraid to tell anybody. You don't want to tell anybody that, yeah, I have kids,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have them right now. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
embarrassing
And
because
that's
it's kind of like it falls back on your parenting. And you don't want to tell nobody that because you don't want everyone to think that you're a crappy parent or that, that you had a drug problem or that your ex beat you or anything like that. You don't want to tell people that you're just meeting that.
yes.
When your new employer says, "So, how about your home life? Do you have kids?"
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but I don't.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where you don't really talk about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they thrive on that kind of thing too.
Yes.
CPS, they thrive on making you feel that way, so that it keeps everything on the down low.
Yes, exactly.
Just the same as what everybody doesn't realize.
Exactly.
The drug test.
They are banking on that you don't want to go public with this stuff because of that kind of fear of judgment, um and there is a lot of judgment. And then
Oh
on top of
yes.
that, they also, I don't know if that's what you experienced, but here they really they basically say, if you say anything about this in public, they threaten you with getting your kids permanently adopted.
Yeah,
And
right,
so they
right.
have a really
And not only
solid
that,
system.
they do threaten you with visits. That they'll take away your visit.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to. Here's one of the worst parts of it all is like when you go on these visits with your kids, you got 1 hour out of a 300 and whatever, however many hours you got in a week. I think I did the math before. Trust me, I did the math on everything. But I think it was like 367 hours in a week. Whatever it is, you have one.
Right.
1 hour.
Yeah.
There's 1 hour of the week where you know where your kid will be. Mm-hmm. There's 1 hour of the week where you have the chance to ask them if everything's okay where they've been.
Mm-hmm. Right.
1 hour to say how was school. 1 hour to check their body for bruises. 1 hour to try to navigate this whole situation.
Right.
And during that hour, all you want to do is hold them.
Right. Totally.
And but you're expected to, to keep your face straight, and there's a whole list of things that you're not allowed to talk about.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Which to me is out of control.
Yeah. And they will look at everything, every little, they have all these rules of how you should interact with your child, and it will be put in a report, and anything that deviates from their standards will be used, and often also like twisted and lied. They'll make up lies to, put in their reports.
Oh, yeah. Everything is lied about. Everything is fabricated. Everything is put in an affidavit and is totally incorrect. Right. And you can guarantee that. If you have one dish, then they make that into 12 dishes in your sink.
Right. That's my experience.
And that's for real.
Yeah.
Now, they, and I don't know how they're able to do that. That's one thing that still boggles me. And the judges just let it happen. They don't care. It's like, okay, that's one more, one more, throw it in the pot, like we're cooking fish or something.
Well, they're totally part of it. They benefit from the kids being taken.
The judges?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. That I hadn't heard, but, I do know that there's a lot of people getting benefits.
Yeah. Sure.
And one of them is not the parent,
That's it.
The parents are not getting any type of benefit whatsoever. It's really sad, My son was abused in foster care, and he didn't want to say anything because, of course, they're always watching you in these 1 hour visits.
Yes, exactly.
But he sat there this one visit we had, and I got it on video. He sat there and he was crying inconsolably. He's 7 years old. He's smart. He's not a 2-year-old baby that cries all the time.
Yeah.
He's 7. So when he came in to see me and he's crying, there's something happened,
Yeah.
So he's just, crying inconsolably. And finally I figured out the only way we could get alone time is for him to go to the bathroom. If he goes to the bathroom, then they'll leave us in the stall and stand outside the door.
Yeah.
And so I took him to the restroom, and we had discussion in there, and he told me how the foster home deals with discipline. And word for word verbatim, my son says that he gets time out in the closet.
Wow.
And he said it like it was a normal interaction. He said it like it was normal everyday business, time out in the closet.
Yeah.
And I just about, I was really close to losing it at that point, But then again, I'm still thinking my brain is going 90 to nothing because it's like, do I say something? Or, I'm putting my son possibly in harm's way by saying something.
Yeah.
But then again, are they testing me?
Yeah.
Are they testing me to see what kind of mother I am? Are they testing me with this information to see if I'll say anything or to see if I'll withhold the information?
Yeah.
Because to me, that's abuse. Okay? So if they were to try to test a parent and have the kid just say something like that off the wall and it wasn't true, if they were testing parents, then if you don't tell, what kind of mother are you?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm caught, I've got 1 hour, less
Mm-hmm.
than 1 hour now, because the clock is always ticking. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm sitting the entire time, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I say something? Do I not say something? Do I give it to the supervisor? I mean, do I even, what should I do? And I came to the conclusion that, come hell or high water, I was going to say something, because I couldn't just let them abuse my child.
Mm-mm.
So I called the supervisor,
Yeah,
and she listened to me. And at the same time, his ride came and took him back, with
yeah.
him crying and screaming and reaching out for me. And I mean, I that's traumatic
Oh, yeah.
on both sides. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
totally.
very traumatic on both sides. And I never heard anything back about that. But I'm still pissed about it. Now you got to imagine, I'm going home for a full week,
Yeah,
no phone calls or anything.
yeah.
You know, and so about a day or two later, I
Mm.
called the child abuse hotline.
Yes.
I called the same number that anyone else should call if there is a child that you see being abused or neglected. I'm talking about seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Don't don't use this number if you're mad at your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use the number if you're mad at your grandma, or what I mean. Don't use it like that. This
Mm-hmm.
is a serious business. You don't want to involve CPS in anyone's life
Right.
unless it's for real.
Yes.
Because if I mean, I can't stress that enough. There's so many people that use it like, I'm just going to call CPS on her.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
But
They have
no,
no
it's not.
idea. Like, what you're doing most
So
likely is put kids in an abusive system.
yes, it's detrimental.
Yeah.
It really is. It changes kids.
I find it interesting to hear that you pointed out the abuse, but you never heard back from that supervisor, right? And
No,
and
and I
they
never will, because it gets covered up.
yeah.
I never heard back from anyone
And that's
anytime that
why
I complained.
it is a total con. Like, what they say they're about, they're not about. They do not care about children's well-being. Like, we
No,
pointed out abuse from the beginning, and none of our complaints were taken serious. And we have recorded evidence of our son talking about the abuse in several homes, and nobody's done anything with it, including the abuse hotline, which we were never told about until a year and a half into the whole thing. They said, "Oh, you can call. There's this hotline," which to me seems like another con, because it's part of CPS. It's not a neutral, independent party that investigates.
right, right. It's basically their intake line,
Yeah.
if you will. That is their intake line. That's where
Oh,
the trouble gets started.
I see.
For
I
for
didn't
moms
know.
who've never dealt with CPS before, people can call this hotline,
I
and
see.
they used to be able to make an anonymous report
Yeah.
with no name given or anything. Now it is mandatory that they take a name,
Yeah.
whether you give them the real name or the false name, who knows,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Right.
But they don't care one way or another. All they want is the address, the location where the kid is or was,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna get to the bottom of it, and they'll have control over it.
Yeah. Wow. Did when you called the hotline, did they ever do anything with your concerns?
Oh no,
No, right?
no. He stayed in the same foster home. The same foster home had already. I mean, he was there last year, because January was when this all started,
Mm-hmm.
and the newest case. Excuse me. There was one back when he was born, and many in between.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they could get a new one started, they would,
Yeah.
and they would come out, pop a drug test on me, and find me clean, and
Mm.
go nowhere else with it.
Yeah.
Now, there was an occasion where, like, my family is against me totally,
Mm-hmm.
that they have been my whole life. But in this case, that's not good business,
Mm-hmm.
because your family is your worst advocate on this.
Right.
They're not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have family-based services where they invite all your family up and talk at the round table about it. But the truth of it is, they're just looking for more information. They're fishing.
Yes.
They love to go on fishing trips,
Right.
and they will fish for anything.
Right.
So, my sister played right into it,
Mm-hmm.
and she's one of those people who's always been jealous for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so she saw money signs because my son is a cancer survivor,
Mm-hmm.
my 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Both of my kids had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But my other one is older now, so the funding they're not going to get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's basically aged out. But my 7-year-old still gets disability, so he gets $1,200 a month for his cancer.
Yeah.
My sister, she saw money bags.
Oh, wow.
She saw that being money bags, and more money bags if she got him taken away from me and given to her, because then she also gets the adoptive bonus for kinship, the kinship bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So she saw money bags. So what did she do? I'm not a troublemaker. I'm straight. So the only way that how's somebody going to get you in trouble, right?
Uh-huh.
But they got to somehow.
Yeah.
So she called and she made a report with the police that she said I threatened to commit suicide. I said I would shoot myself and shoot my son. And at this point, I had custody of my son, and I was on my own. Again, I had gotten out of all the trouble that I was in, with CPS taking him and everything. I'd gotten over it, and I was so glad to be out done with the trouble.
Yeah.
And so she called in this new report. So what the police did, they came out to my house. They did a welfare check on my son. And, ironically, she just happened to show up. She drove from 3 hours away where she lived, 3 hours into my mom's house. And so, this is all going on the same morning. I didn't ever put two and two together until they put me in cuffs in the back of a cop car.
Oh, my God.
And they did that. They said to protect themselves and to protect me. Wow. I have no guns. I don't own a gun. But mysteriously, there was one found in the house. Basically, you know what I mean? You know where this is going. Yeah. I went downtown for a mental evaluation. I was gone for a week.
Yeah.
During that week, my sister, of course, it was just so easy because she was right there. It was convenient, right?
Yeah.
So she had my baby. And so whenever I got out, they cleared me, of course, after they did their testing, and I stayed for, whatever, and I was there for a week. They transferred me from place to place because, you know what I mean? There's really no reason for me to be there except the CPS wanted me there.
Yeah.
Whenever I got out, I was ready for my son back. I missed him already,
Yeah.
So I called, and she's like, oh, well, you'll have to talk to your caseworker about that. And I'm like, what caseworker? I don't even have a case.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. You kept my son temporarily because you had me thrown in the hospital. And so that's all there is. There's no paper signed by me. There's no nothing. So you need to bring him back to me. Where you took him from, bring him back to where you took him from.
Wow.
Oh, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I said, well, then I guess I'm going to go down to the police department and put kidnapping charges on you, because if you don't give my son back, you're kidnapping him.
Yeah.
And I was serious business. And so anyways, my mother realized that I was serious. And my mom stole him in the middle of the night. She brought him all the way back to me. And so that's my family and my situation. So in between, like I was saying, I had a few cases that would kind of flare up, and they'd come test me, and it would go away. Or the one with my sister, where it was huge, and I threatened her, with all that. After that, me and my sister weren't close anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We weren't, it was over with.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And where's your son now?
With my sister. Where do you think?
So he's with your sister.
But see, I didn't know that either. Here's the thing: in November was when I had court for my parental rights.
Yeah.
And the whole time throughout the case, I kept thinking, like, they're going to give him back to me this time, because all my drug tests were coming up negative. I never had a positive drug screen for them. And I had went to every visit. I'd been through all my classes. They made me take a 10-week parenting course, mandatory, and go through all these counseling sessions, 368 counseling sessions that I had all last year. I went to every one of them, didn't miss, never missed a visit. And on every visit I went to, I took him food, hot food, like from McDonald's or pizza, and I took him clothes because he was growing out of his clothes. So I'm still providing for
Yeah.
my kids the entire year. And we had crafts, you know what I mean? I was taking stuff that we could do because there was nothing to play with for his age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're just in a little bitty room
Oh, I
staring
know.
at each
Those
other.
rooms are
So what are you gonna
crazy.
do?
Like there's just like nothing.
You know,
It's not designed for
nothing.
families to thrive.
No, it's
No.
not. And so, but they're wanting to see what you will do. What will you do if this is what you're given?
Yes.
So I just realized that right off the bat. There ain't no toys for him. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start taking stuff. Every time I go, we all will take a craft, something for us to work on, something for us to do. Cookies, I'll bake cookies and he can decorate them with icing, different things like that. And that was every visit. So every time I went to court, I was thinking like, oh, great, this must be the time they're going to give him back. And they never did. So in November, they terminated my parental rights. And I was just as surprised as ever. And I didn't understand how that could be. You know what I mean? How in the world is that even possible?
So there
a
was.
mother who.
So what were the
Right.
what were the allegations to begin with?
The original allegations, they came from my son, the older son, who was having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
He was having a mental breakdown because of his cancer.
Yeah.
He was in the middle of cancer treatment, and he was very, very sick.
Yeah.
So he had somewhat of a mental breakdown, and him and his dad got into it there in Corpus. And at the time, they were wanting to send him back to me.
Yeah.
Which would have been fine with me. I raised him. I know how he is. He has ADHD, ADD, and ODD.
Yeah.
Which is the defiancy disorder.
Yeah.
And he's had the defiancy disorder since he was real little. And it's hard to deal with a child at that capacity sometimes.
Oh, totally.
But once you get used to them, then you know how to play the cards, to make them do what you want, basically,
Yeah.
So it's like, put your shoes on. Nope, not putting my shoes on today. Okay, well then don't put your shoes on. I don't care. Get stickers in your feet, and then there goes the shoes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it took a long time to learn him, but I did. And him and his dad, they had it out down there. They were wanting to send him back with me. So that's what the original come to me, and call me up out of the blue. Like I'm talking about no investigation for a year or 2 years maybe. And then all of a sudden, hello, this is so-and-so from CPS. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh man.
What? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what is it this time? And she goes, well, your son is having a bit of an issue there in Corpus. I just wanted to see how you felt about him coming back to Fort Worth. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to have him back anytime. Of course I have room for my son. Of course I can take care of my kid, So they wanted to talk to me in person. Before they sent him back, before all that, they wanted to talk to me in person. So I told them they were welcome to make an appointment with me, and they could come over to the place where I was, my mom. And, we could sit outside and talk. I don't allow them in my house. I don't allow them in my gate. They're not allowed.
No.
We can sit outside and we can talk about what you want. If you want to see my kids, I will bring them to you outside. But you're not coming in my home. So that's one thing that everyone needs to learn, that too.
I think there's a lot of things people need to learn. I have learned a lot over this last 2 years that if I had known, it would have been very helpful. Yes.
Because you feel like they have some kind of a...
And everyone should be aware of this. A lot of people...
They don't. They're not.
No, and a lot of people think it won't happen to them, but like these days, it can happen to anyone.
It can. It totally can. Yes, and so they came over. We had a good discussion, and it was all about Trey and how to help Trey, which is my older son.
Yeah.
How to help Trey through his situation, And at the very end of the conversation, of course, you want to talk to Andrew, which I brought him out.
Yeah.
and she had a discussion. She wanted to talk to him alone at five, almost 6 years old he was.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to talk to him alone, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Anything that you would like to ask him, you're more than welcome to ask him right here
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have him sitting in my lap, and you're welcome to ask him anything.
Right.
I'm not going to say anything or say no, or he's not going to look at my face and see that I don't want him to answer that or anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be sitting with his back to me,
Right.
and you can ask him anything.
Yeah.
And she did. She asked him a lot of things, but, she went on to ask him about, like things that you learn in school, academic information and stuff like that. Do you know a square from a circle? And this, and he's very smart. She made the comment. She said, well, he's very, very smart. You homeschool him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, I do. And I homeschooled my little son because my first son, when all this started, whenever I had my son in the hospital, they took my older son out of school, and that was the last time that he was in my.
Care.
I took him to school one morning,
Yeah.
like usual, and then I couldn't pick him up.
Yeah.
At school, from school.
Yeah.
Because the school had worked with CPS, and he was taken from the school, and I didn't get. And that's a parent's worst nightmare, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, dropping your kid off at school in the morning, and then come afternoon, you being told that you're not allowed to be there, and you can't pick up your kids because someone else already did that.
It's horrible.
And I mean, you don't want to take your kid to school ever again after that. That was a traumatizing moment.
Right.
And so my little one, I was like, he's just going to do homeschool.
Yeah, right.
And I'll teach him everything that he needs to know. I ordered the workbooks, and we were working the program. And that's another reason why I was a target, I believe.
Oh yeah, they don't like. This system doesn't like people. Like the freer and the more empowered you are and raise your children, the more of a target you are.
Right.
When
sure.
I questioned the detective that started this whole thing with us extensively. I was like, how this doesn't make sense. And eventually he told me the truth. He said, we just want your kid in the system, and we want you guys in the system too, because we have a very alternative lifestyle, and we don't do normal, nothing conventional, and we homeschool too. And he admitted, he said, yeah, we don't want people living your lifestyle, and that is the real reason that your kids got taken. And so
I believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe that. And so, with me homeschooling Andrew, they wanted to make sure that he was getting the academic skills that he needs.
And the thing is, I don't believe they actually care about it. They're just looking for any excuse to take your kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, they do not care.
And they actually really don't even have the right to.
Some kind of deficiency, looking for a deficiency in my parenting skills.
Yeah.
And any way they can find it, whether it's your messy house that's not really messy, or whether it's your, whatever it is, they are going to find it, and they will, they will take your kids because of that, and they will keep them.
And they actually don't even have the right to do any of that. It's just that nobody knows. They're a criminal organization that operates as though there's something else. They're a con, and people don't know the laws. They don't know like all the rights we actually have and that we can assert. They're operating on people's. What?
At the same time, you say that we have them, but we're supposed to have them. We don't really have them anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Constitution, those are all rights that we all have.
Yeah.
They are ours. We own them. But we don't. You see what I'm saying? Like they're slowly removing them from our vocabulary and our memory as well.
Yeah.
But in that moment when she's asking him about his academics, she decided to say, well, you wouldn't mind, would you? Do just a little quick mouth swab. Would you mind doing that for me? And of course, I'm like, I don't do drugs, so sure, let me do that. I don't. What's the big deal, right? You think that?
Yeah.
And so I took the mouth swab, which took an extensive amount of time. I'm talking about excessive. 15 minutes. And there's a control line that's supposed to go all the way through all the drugs, and that lets them know that the test is working, that it's correct. And then if there's another line on specific drugs, then that shows you as a positive.
Yes.
So it took about 15 minutes for this line to finally work its way all the way across, and it skipped two of the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the control line did.
Yeah, yeah.
And so to me, that's invalid. That's an invalid test result.
Yeah,
no
totally.
matter what it says. If the control line doesn't go all the way through, then it is an ineffective test. It's not real. It's, valid and doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
when the line didn't go all the way through, she proceeded to say that the test was finished, it was concluded, and I was positive for like 3 out of 5, or it was a ridiculous amount of drugs. That I had all of them in my system,
Oh,
and
wow.
except for one or something, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, no, I refuse to accept that. So if you have another test in your trunk, which is 120 degrees in the heat, if you got another one there, I'll be happy to take it. And if it's a valid result with the line all the way through, then I'll accept it.
Yeah.
But
But she didn't want to do the test.
Test result,
Yeah.
And so she said she looked in her trunk, didn't have one. She wanted me to go for a UA or a hair follicle, know. And I'm like, you know what? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Y'all have gotten to the point where y'all are being ridiculous.
Right.
Because on the drug test, when they order you to go to that lab and they give you that receipt that you're supposed to take to the lab, when you go to the lab that day and you give them your specimen, you will never ever know the true answer of your result.
No.
And I'm telling you that from experience. They will take the results that they say they received from you. They will take those to court.
Yeah.
And the first time you'll ever hear about them is when you're standing in front of a judge and the judge says, oh, well, you had a drug test on June the 4th and you were positive for this, this, and this. How do you explain that? And you, as the mom, you're standing there and you're like, whoa, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
There's no way I had drugs in my system.
Oh,
what
that's
do you
horrible,
mean?
right?
But then again, here you are, and you're the shitty mom already anyway, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're there to prove yourself, and all these people are looking at you like, they already believe it. So after that went, that happened a few times in my past, I realized what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're hoping that you're not smart enough to go down and take your own drug test. Because when you take your own drug test, when you pay for your own,
yeah,
who do you think gets the result of that? You do.
Yeah, yeah.
And they can't coerce it. They can't fudge the numbers. They can't change them to what they want it to be. Then you have your own proof, because that's the only way that you will save yourself from a positive drug test, because they will. That's, if they can't get you any other way, then they will get you doing that.
Right.
So, I started taking my own. It was $400 for a hair follicle, and less for a UA, but you will pay it out of pocket.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the money, you know what I mean? Once again, we're talking about poor parents here. You know what I'm saying? We're on food stamps and Medicaid. And, I was basically, me and my son were living on his Social Security, because with cancer, they wouldn't let me work. His doctors were saying that I couldn't work because I would bring home a sickness. So they were like serious and strict about me staying at home with the baby, or with my son. And so that's what I did. I thought that was better to do. And so we were living off of the $1,200 check from the disability. Well, you know what? Within 3 days of them taking control of my son, they already had his check transferred into someone else's account.
Oh, wow.
So, I immediately was feeling the crunch, because there's no way you can just run out and go get a job like that real quick. There's no way when your life is one certain way, you're just taking care of your child and you don't have an income.
Right.
And they take away the only means of income that you've known.
Oh, totally.
Then you're dealing with a whole new bag of worms because you're about to lose your home.
Right.
You're about to be homeless. And that's what happened.
Wow. I was also wondering, what did they say was the were the reasons for terminating your parental rights?
Oh, they never gave anything like
So
that.
they just
They just
terminated
said
your
they were in the
rights
best
without
interest of the
saying
child,
they just
and then
terminated it
they had,
without
yeah,
any
right. Well,
evidence or
they do that because that's the only way that they're able to get that funding.
yeah.
They can't. They can only call him a foster child for X amount of months. I believe it's 18 months in an investigation
Mm.
period.
Yeah.
That's the max amount that they can have an investigation on any child.
Yeah.
So anytime after that, they're not getting paid. So what it is basically they worked it all the way to the very end when they were about to lose funding. They were about to not get paid anymore for Andrew,
Yeah.
and then they had one way that they could keep getting paid, and
Mhm.
that was through what? Through adopting him out. And they couldn't adopt him out with a mama.
Mhm. Wow.
So that's what they
And
did.
so they never actually gave you a
I
reason. They said we're going to adopt your kid.
basically, yeah, and they, of course, really, like I was telling you earlier, I don't even know of a place where you can go and check your status. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know of a site where you can go and see what's going on with your case or anything. I know that when they terminated my parental rights, I filed an appeal.
Mhm.
See, my court-appointed attorney, she quit on the same day as court.
Yeah.
So as soon as they terminated my rights, instead of filing an appeal like any good attorney would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, duh, yeah, of course I want to fight it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course I want to fight it because I've been trying to fight it this whole time. Like
Exactly.
my attorney, she knew what my wishes were. You knew that I didn't want this to be like this, so why not appeal it? But she didn't. And so I'm, totally not an attorney.
Mhm.
I don't know much of anything about it, but I'm
Mhm.
learning. And so I filed my own appeal. And I went to the courthouse and I filed, the necessary paperwork.
Mhm.
And she apparently hadn't turned in any information um, about my classes I
Oh
took.
my god.
See, that's another way that they get you. Another way they get you is by the court-appointed attorney.
Mhm.
Because when you accept their help, they call it, with this attorney, you accept that, and they are your go-between. They're like your middleman.
Yeah.
Okay, so now instead of you talking to the court yourself, and instead of you getting the court dates and times and locations yourself, instead of you turning in your documents
Mhm.
and knowing that they're in there,
Yeah.
okay, now they've given you this middleman who
Mhm.
is responsible to do all that, who
Right.
is supposed to be your go-between. They're supposed to let you know when your court dates are. They're supposed to let you know what's going on with your case.
Mhm.
All these things, they give you this attorney, and you're thinking, oh, well, how nice that they gave me an attorney for free.
Yeah, yeah.
That attorney's going to help me. I'm going to win my kid back.
Mhm.
No, that attorney is helping them so that you eventually lose your child.
Oh, totally. That's what we noticed too. I've been trying to fire my
Yep.
attorney for a long time, but they don't let me. And I know that it's my right to represent myself in court, and they don't let me. And it's an enormous violation of the Constitution. And all they keep
I don't
saying
know
is,
how they don't let you. I've never, yeah. They tried to coerce me here. They said, we're not going to give you another court-appointed attorney.
mm-hmm,
And see, I won an entire case by myself. My first CPS case.
yeah,
Now, at that time, I was smoking herb,
mm-hmm,
and it was illegal here in Texas. So I did have a bit of an issue there at the beginning.
uh-huh,
And then I did quit because I realized that I was going to have to,
mm-hmm, yeah,
even though it's just marijuana, whatever it is, nothing's worth my kid. So, I did quit and I dried that up. But
mm-hmm,
I fired all my attorneys, and
yeah,
they kept like trying to threaten me about that. They're like, we're not going to give you another court-appointed attorney. We're
yeah,
not going to keep doing that for you.
uh-huh,
And I said, I don't want one. I'm here to represent myself. I'm a guest in this courtroom,
mm-hmm,
and I'm not going to say your honor because I do not, and I will not stand up for you when you walk in the courtroom. I do not. I am a guest here, and
Mm-hmm.
I will stay seated until you sit down, and that's when I stand.
Yeah.
And I stuck to my guns. There was attorneys that were sitting in because they had other cases, that were happening behind mine, like after mine.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this one attorney, he was an older man. He followed me out of the courtroom and he said, "Listen, I wanted to give you a pat on the back because I know this is hard for you, but I just wanted you to know that you were amazing."
Yeah.
He was like, "I would almost hire you." You know what I mean? He's like, I've been an attorney a long time,
Uh-huh.
and it takes a strong person to stand up there like he did.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, at the time, it was like easy for me,
Yeah.
but I've had 3 car accidents since then. So my brain, is like, I feel like I've forgotten everything I learned, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I think that's amazing.
But you,
I really respect that. I have actually found out that people who do not have attorneys win their cases on a much higher rate with CPS,
yeah,
and that is
yeah,
also why they don't let me speak in court. They don't let me fire
right,
my attorney because they know how powerful it is. There's also something about that. Most people don't know this, but when you have an attorney, you lose a lot of rights. And when you do not have an attorney, you actually have m- a lot of rights, and that's why the whole system is encouraging people to not represent themselves and to have an attorney. And that's also why it often ends up a lot better when you represent yourself. And they're actively
yeah.
working
So
against that right now.
I didn't know anything about the rights that you have when you don't have an attorney. I didn't. That's one part that I have not studied.
Yes.
So that I did not know about.
Mm-hmm.
But I just knew that it was like I was up against a bunch of linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My attorney was a linebacker,
Yeah, yeah,
and they were, you know, preventing me from turning in documents that could make or break my case.
yeah.
That actually, my classes that I had completed
Mm-hmm.
were not getting turned in.
Oh my
You know what I
God.
mean?
Yeah.
And how is that even possible? Then it makes it look bad on you because it's like, well, lady, if you're not going to your classes and you're not going to your visits and you're not doing this and you're not doing that and you're refusing drug tests,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and you're
Oh,
got positive drug tests, whatever it is,
it's so
whatever
easy
they
to
try
make
to
you look
say,
bad.
you
Yeah.
know,
When we looked through the court reports they wrote about us, it's all lies. It's so easy because nobody asks for our side. So they read all the lies that the social workers write, and
right?
you look like a horrible human being. But there's never
Yes,
evidence. We keep
and
on
that's
bringing
all
up
that they see.
how are you backing up those words? They're like, we don't need evidence. We just take people's words, especially social workers and
Right.
police. Yeah.
And here in Texas, there's no court reporter for family court.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, you
Hmm.
don't even have the word for word verbatim
No.
that's being kept as a court record. You know what I mean? What people depend on
Yeah.
to go back and look up stuff and
Oh,
go back to. It's not even kept here
it's
because
so
there's no
horribly
court reporter.
illegal. Yeah.
So that's another thing. It's like this and this was said. Well, where was it? Who said it? What in what context? And
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. But it all comes together. It all comes together with this big messy package of fucked up business. Excuse my language.
No problem.
And it all goes toward stealing your child.
Yeah.
You know,
Kidnapping,
and
stealing, and
it's
abusing
messed up.
children. Yes, there.
All about money.
It's a criminal organization. It's a criminal business. Most people don't realize it's a business. It's a corrupt business.
Basically, it's another corporation. It's like
Yes,
Walmart.
that's it.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes right back to, your social security number.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're assigned a social security number, you become property of the government.
Right.
And that's, if you look up that, it's unbelievable, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, anybody who reads this, listens to it, I don't know how you're putting it out there, but you can look up anything that I have said.
Yeah.
If I say that it's law, if I say that it's possible or that it does happen, I guarantee you that if you look it up, you'll find it, that it's real.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I mean, I don't lie or deviate from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very smart. I'm intelligent, and I have fought this war for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I just find it. I still sit here and I'm in disbelief that I
Mm-hmm.
do not have my son.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, what is the basis for keeping him? You know, when I did their 10-week course, their parenting class,
Mm-hmm.
every week, you know, you go to class, it's a Zoom class, you're all seeing each other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end you graduate. I graduated, and I was like, you know what? I enjoyed class, no problem.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep taking class. I
Right.
took every parenting, every child psychology
Mm-hmm.
class, anything that I could find online that was a free class. I went to Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm.
Eventbrite is a great place where you can find lots of classes and things that you can do for free.
Mm-hmm.
Just get on there, free classes, free parenting class, and it will show you a whole list of parenting classes, things that you can learn about your kids, about their development, things that they need to be learning or doing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on there, girl, and I took another course, you know, on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on to a social work degree site.
Mm-hmm.
It's an online. They do classes for social workers. I have a social work degree.
Wow.
I went on to CW, which is a foster, it's like a foster adoption agency.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through their class and through their course to be able to be a foster mom, to be a registered foster mom. So now, when I go back to court, looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am, not only do I have a social work degree, but I've taken my parenting classes. I have my I can be a foster mom. So how the fuck are you keeping my son from me?
Right. On what basis?
You know, in what world is this even right? In what world does this exist?
Right.
But in ours, it does.
And it's very important that this becomes more and more public knowledge. And I'm
Yes,
really
it has
glad
to.
that more and more people are sharing their experiences. I feel like they do a really good job at intimidating people to such a degree that with all sorts of things, and people keep it to themselves. But it seems like lately people are coming out more and more and realize that it's not an isolated thing. You know, once everyone starts sharing their data, you realize that they have the same tactics and that they're doing the same things to everybody. They have the same tricks, the same intimidations,
Yep.
the same the same
Lies,
methods of
coercion.
oh
Yes.
so much. And it's very that's one thing I really celebrate about having internet and social media. And this can be shared very effectively. And I've noticed even in these last 2 years the increase of exposure and people excited to expose this. And it sounds like you're doing that through your own. Did you say you made your own website?
Yeah. Well, I just opened a new Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it hasn't really been out very long, and it's not really connected to much, but it's just CPS Blast Off.
Oh,
And
so you're the person who, okay, so I'm part of that website. I really, it's awesome.
yes,
I didn't know you had
so we
created
have,
it.
you know, Tanawa Downing is working with a lot of women and their kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But our group started out as women only. We're moms who are being alienated basically from our kids.
Yeah.
You can call it what you want, but
Mm-hmm.
they trying to get our kids to forget us
Yeah.
is a big thing.
That is their main tactic.
You
They
know,
brainwash, they do everything to
yeah,
impair the connection with your child. And
they do.
yeah.
They do. And at some point, the kid has no choice because, you know, you're now as me, I haven't laid eyes on my child since November.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have this thing called the goodbye visit. I don't know if you've heard about that, but I am against that. That is your very last visit to see your child again, basically.
Yeah.
and they create this goodbye visit, and it's 1 hour, just like any other visit you have, but it's the last one because they're planning your adoption of your child. They already know what they're going to do. They probably already have a family picked out for him or her, and you're losing. You already know that you've lost your child. So this is your goodbye visit. They call it that, and it's a horrible tactic. It's horrible, and how do you expect that visit to go?
Jeez,
how does anybody think that visit will go?
God.
Like, it can't go good.
No.
And the thing about it is that basically is you accepting it. If you go to that goodbye visit, that is you basically saying, yeah, I agree. I agree to this.
I see.
You go to it because it's your last one. You might not get a chance to tell them goodbye any other time.
Yeah.
But I said goodbye to my son last week. I told him the same thing I do every week. I love you and I will always love you. And our last visit was with cake. I brought a cake up there, a giant one. Yeah. And we shared it with everyone, even the caseworkers. And I just told him that I love him so much, that I'll see him. I'll see him as soon as I can. And just be a good boy,
Wow.
And, that was our last visit. I did not attend the goodbye visit because I don't agree to that.
No.
I'm not letting you push me into approval for some shitty visit where we just both want to just sit and cry.
Yeah, right.
Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
So there was no goodbye. It's always see you later.
Right. Wow. It's when I hear other people's stories, I get both enraged and immensely sad.
Emotional. Yes, emotional. Yeah.
It is.
And it's easy to see,
Like my aunt said, I'm from the Netherlands, and my aunt in the Netherlands said, how is it that people are not protesting in the streets collectively that children are being kidnapped every day, and everyone is okay with this?
Everyone is, they're stifled, okay, like embarrassed, first of all. Yeah. First of all, it's embarrassing. Let's just be honest about it,
Right.
It's embarrassing, and at the same time,
and I'm not she was not actually talking about people who have their kids taken. She's like, how is the collective accepting that this is okay? This society, and at the same time still thinks that we live in a free free country with rights and a safe country. There's this ether of like that we live in a like the best country, and even I have a lot of friends all over the world, and people who live in what they call third world countries don't get their kids kidnapped. They're not worried about that, and that's one of the most important.
They walk around with no shoes on, and they haven't eaten in a week. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit we watch on TV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The little hungry Somalian kids or whatever, and we're sending them money, right, to feed them bread and soup. But over here, in the United States of America, our own people are stealing our kids. Yeah. And pushing us to the point of homelessness, and it's
I was talking with a friend from Mexico, and like how many Mexicans come to the United States for with dreams, and he was just talking about he was just talking about how happy he was in Mexico, and he's following our situation too, and he was like, he's horrified, and he's like, at least children are allowed to be children here, and they don't get kidnapped.
But who are we to say anything? Because we take, any of the Mexican kids that come across the border. Yeah. There's over 60 or 70,000 of them that are missing right now.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? They're not really missing. I guarantee you CPS can find them. I guarantee you they know exactly where they are because they've adopted them out already. Yes. So you come across the border thinking you're coming to a free to a better life for your family.
Yeah.
But guess what? When they send you back home, if they ever do,
Mm-hmm.
they send you back home, and there's only adults going back.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why are the kids staying here? I
It's
mean, why are
very.
we? Who are we to even say like we're God or something over here? Who makes that decision?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they are doing it. They are doing it, and they call them missing children. I guarantee you, probably, you see the missing kid posters everywhere, posted
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. You go
Yeah.
Walmart, they're everywhere. You see all the walls missing kids. Probably about 75% of those kids up there are missing per CPS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
They are, they're not actually, they weren't kidnapped on their bicycle one day by a white guy that
No,
was driving a big
CPS
white
isn't.
van.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These kids are not kidnapped like that.
Right.
These kids that are all over all these missing posters, they're kidnapped, and the CPS is mad
Mm-hmm.
because they've either run away from their foster home
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't find them.
Yeah.
That happens more often than you would believe. The older kids,
Yeah.
they run away.
Well, even
And they run
our
away and go seek help,
our
but they're given
8-year-olds.
right back.
Sorry, what?
I said the older kids, they run away
Yeah. Yeah.
from their foster home,
Mm-hmm.
because they're getting abused or sexually abused or neglected or whatever. The older kids, they want their parents, so they run away from the foster home
Mm-hmm.
and they go try to find their parents.
Yeah.
They go out in the world, whatever they do. So then the foster home calls them in as missing children,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they end up on the wall.
Yeah, I see.
They're on the wall because they run away from foster home, and then they're on the hunt for them. Let me tell you, they put out an all points bulletin
Mm-hmm.
because that's what ended up happening when my sister took my
Mm-hmm.
son
Yeah.
and kept him out of her house, and then my mother kidnapped him basically and brought him back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I never thought nothing about it. I never, in a million years, I didn't think oh, I need to go check in with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or what caseworker do I have now? I thought, cool, I got my kid back. I'm not going to go file kidnapping charges,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm just going to go on with our daily life. We're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to go play ball. So the weeks went by. Next thing you know, I had Bill, who is a special investigator here in Tarrant County.
Mm-hmm.
He showed up at my mom's house wearing a suit and tie,
Mm-hmm.
and a badge.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm here, special investigator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here because CPS sent me. They put out a bulletin that your son is missing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? He's right here. And he was. He was right there with me, and he says, well, that's the problem. And I'm like, what do you mean? I had to reiterate the whole story to him, how he ended up with my sister and all this and that. And I told him I didn't even know I had a case. Right. I didn't know there was a case started because of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
totally.
Basically, by me having my son back, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he said, well, if you would have taken him to the doctor or gotten pulled over with him in your vehicle, we would have taken you to jail.
Wow. That is wild.
So basically for kidnapping my own child, I guess, back. For having my own son.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a very different angle on, CPS than we do. But there's a lot of things.
I do.
There's a lot of things in common. Their general manipulations and illegalities are similar. But
oh yeah. It's all things they do. You can put that under the category things they do.
Yeah.
And then the other category, things they don't do. That's care about the kids.
Yeah.
They don't do that. Things they don't do, protect them. There's another one. They don't care at all about their well-being.
No. The opposite. Our son got suicidal at one point from their abuse and being away from us, and he was in a suicide hospital where he's being monitored, and they didn't let me visit him or call him. Eventually, I found a way to get calls with him, but he was saying that he realized they don't just not care about him. He said they want me suffering, they want me in pain, and that's what he's starting to realize, that these people. They are professional misery creators. They are into money and into creating pain. and he was seeing it very clearly himself, and it made him enraged. He was like, they want me, feeling horrible. And in the beginning, he
And
kind of,
that's
yeah.
sad.
Hmm?
That's sad. That's horrible for
Yeah.
a boy or any kid really to feel that way
Yeah.
about anybody. Kids should not see the world like that.
Right. I was wondering, yeah, I'm really glad that you're sharing your story. I feel that it can help a lot of people. And
I hope.
I feel I'm really excited I found your Facebook group too, the CPS Blast Off. That's the first one that I found where I was like, wow, there's a really good energy here. And people are really excited to take action and to expose the corruption and to be assertive and empowered. That's something that I didn't see in other groups, at least in the past, because my post kept being removed whenever I would mention fighting CPS. And I didn't know you were the one that started it. I was really impressed
Yeah,
and
yeah,
excited
that's
too,
me.
because you feel the power of people getting together. In Norway, something similar happened a while ago, and people all got together and started protesting in the streets, and CPS got shut down, and kids were returned. And that's just one example of, like, you just feel the power of people claiming their power, and especially of coming together and getting public with all this. I believe it's only a matter of
Yeah,
time
we're gonna have to.
before this system will change.
Yes, but the thing about it is, our clock is ticking
Yeah.
for our children.
Right.
Now, I would love to see change. Change is what I'm going for,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of course, because I want to protect everybody else who still has their kids.
Yeah.
I want to protect them too at the same time, but really I'm selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I really only give a crap about my son.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I know you feel the same. Like,
yeah.
Your kid's your number one, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, whatever it is, yeah, I want to save everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't save the world. But I want that one little boy that means so much to me, and I want to preserve his childhood. I want to preserve how his innocence.
Right.
You know, and I'm losing it day by day. Every minute that goes by,
yeah,
I'm losing piece
right.
of him. You know, and so that's what really my main goal. When I started that group, it was selfish but selfless at the same time.
Totally.
It's a little bit of both, but because
right.
I mean, I love the crap out of all kids.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even look at a kid now walking through a store with their mom, and I don't cry. Yeah. I cry every time I see a child because I love so hard, you know, and I see the beauty in that kid. I see the innocence on their face, and it means so much. But then all of a sudden it hits me about mine.
Yeah, right.
Where is he?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like, I didn't even know that my sister had him. Now, you know, my court happened in November. I'm contacting the CPS lady. Hey, where is my kid? Can I know where he is? No, your parental rights are gone. You have no rights to know anymore. So don't contact me. Yeah. You know? And so I have nowhere else to go. What else do I do? How can you find that kid? Right. You know, how can you know about if he's even okay? Is he alive? Is he still with the foster parents? Is he with, you know, I had no idea where he was until Mother's Day of this year. Mother's Day of this year, I went all day. I didn't get a phone call from him, nothing. And my older son actually contacted me, and he's like, "Hey, Mom, you know, I just wanted to call and say Happy Mother's Day." And I was like, "Hey, baby, you know, how are you doing?" And he goes, "Well, I guess you heard about Andrew and his new family." And I was like, "No, I've been looking for him. I just don't know what to do. You know, I don't know where to go." And you know, I didn't even know where to start, really. And the truth of it is, the whole time my sisters had him. So back to the one that wanted him originally, back to the one who sent me to the hospital up on live, back, you know, and so she's got him, and everybody says, "Oh, well, that's good. At least he's with family." No, that's definitely not good.
No,
And I would have rather had it with a stranger than
I
with
can
someone who
totally
has been wanting this the
imagine.
entire time and has been pushing for it.